Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Saturday, November 2nd, 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2019. The GFS models are in. The most recent models showing heavy snow moving all the way through the southeast, the beast from the east, with an early punch. Boom! Right there. November 10th, this weekend. Coming from Thursday through your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which will be your fun day. Take a look at that. North Carolina, Virginia. It could be a Senya. While heavy snow is falling in Canada across the entire area. Oh, the region could be a sieging. We need you to keep calm. It is boom time. A little snow causes a big mess on Minnesota roads. Crashes and spinouts were frequent, but no fatalities or serious injuries were reported. I like her dress. A snowfall of a mere 1/10 of an inch caused way more than its share of damaged cars and rattled drivers Saturday, with 118 crashes reported between 6 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Hello! Go slow. October, a month of extreme temperatures, record heat in Florida, record cold throughout the country. And it's going to tip a little bit towards Florida. And the first 2 weeks of November could be a November to remember in Orlando and other regions in Florida. We'll get to that. For many areas in the southeast, it was the hottest October on record. From South Florida through Tennessee Valley, high pressure remained in control. Those numbers have been doctored, though. But I digress. It was certainly a hot month in Daytona Beach. But it was the coldest October on record for Spokane, Yakima, Burns, Pocatello, Idaho Falls, Great Falls, Havre, Cedar City, Eureka, and on and on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, Shravaz Estates. All record cold. And they're bitching about Florida, which has been hot forever, except when the white rain comes, and it's coming. Colorado's statewide snowpack is at 212% of average. Do you know what that means? That's more than double. Ow! Get in your hole! I wanted you on that treadmill, but now I want you just in the hole. Put the lotion in the basket and get in the hole. Jesus. An early season blast of snow and cold has statewide snowpack more than double the average for early November. It's a cinch. This looks like a plasma discharge right there. My God, that's Jacob's Ladder. What are they telling us? After Colorado's exceptionally snowy October, Colorado's current snowpack is more than twice its typical early November level. The data from the National Resources Conservation Service, which is not the national... Anyway, we'll get to them. We'll get to donations later. The highest snowpack levels are in northern Colorado, where some areas are more than 3 times above where they should be for early November. Hello! Most of the snowfall came over the past 2 weeks. Well, yeah, because prior to that it was summer! As a series of strong and exceptionally cold storm systems move through the state. That is your fate. As predicted, the Oppenheimer Ranch Project is still on air because we are 100%. Hello. Colorado's northern mountains, the Park, Medicine Bow, Front Ranges, saw the most overall snowfall. Because of that, some parts of southern Colorado are running a tick behind average snowpack levels as of Friday update. Of course, all of the snow has ski resorts reporting record snow levels and opening earlier than usual, which is unusual. 38 in Denver. Feels like 35 with the wind. And that's chilly. Wind and rain dislodged both trapped on rocks above Niagara Falls for 101 years. Have you seen the footage? It is glorious. And we haven't even seen it, but we're going to try to play it. A boat stuck on rocks above Niagara Falls for more than a century has been unmoored by high winds and heavy rains. Thursday's harsh weather pushed the vessel away from its rocky perch closer to the falls on the Canadian side than ever before.
Industry's largest catastrophe
This
response
video has
teams.
nothing to do with it. If you want to know more, check out the links below. That's how much budget we have here. Maria! Holy Maria! Fire broke out minutes after utility company re-energized high-voltage power lines. PG&E is fluxed. Not only are they bankrupt, but they're less than bankrupt. Because as the legal issues mount, they're about to, I'll tell you what, they're going to be hitting the highway. These utilities need to be privatized. Let me tell you why. Because privatization leads to localization. If your utility was local and they were fluxing you, we could go burn their buildings down. And it wouldn't matter because we still don't have power, so who cares? The problem is it has become too big. When things become too big, guess what happens? I'm sorry, I'm moisturizing my whole face and everything. It's amazing. I wish you could join me. Now, the Maria fire broke out minutes after the utility company re-energized the high voltage lines. I wonder what utility company that might be. Could it be PG&E? Well, I might be a pipe smoker, but I know who's smoking that pipe. Most California fires over 70% contained as Ventura firefighters contend with drones, and they continue to pump the pink breast cancer awareness flame retardant all over the fires. That's who's supporting them, by the way. It's the globalists. And look at where they're dumping it, right on your food. I love pink flame retardant on my kale, especially my smoothie. Firefighters continue to combat a fire northwest of LA, as most fires that ravaged California over the past 2 weeks are now more than 70% contained, according to the California Department of Forestry and Fire, etc. Reports that drones in airspace that is being used by fire responders have slowed response is completely true. Now, if you support any channels that are flying drones over these fires and reporting on directed energy weapons and others, or even if they're just flying drones over these fires, please report the channels, unsubscribe from them, and tell them how much of a schmuck they are for being schmucks. I can't even believe we have to tell these people how they're in harm's way. People are trying to put out fires, and you're taking pictures. Stand on the sidelines. Bring them donuts. Massage their backs. They'll let you film. But don't send up the drone, you fucking idiots. Well, idiots abound. 80% of the population you're surrounded with are mouth breathers that could never actually understand actual information and have no capacity for scientific thinking or logic, period. Billings records 0 temp. That's nothing. There's no more temp left. After that, it's negative temp forever. And if you're a European or a Canadian, it's been negative for 32 degrees prior to that. That's how much of a snowflake you guys are. Shattering records in Billings, by the way, at 0. Should we talk about it? When I see streaks of smoke like that, it's definitely either coming from a bong or 0 or less temps. Steam rises from industries in Billings as the temp dips near 0. And how they have yucca there is totally a mindfucker. It's a mindfucker for the yucca. Are you a schmucker? Answer the survey. You could read further. No opinion. We can't even answer the survey. Well, that's all you get. That's our regret. Early snow adds additional stress during an already difficult harvest. Well, if you think an already difficult harvest is now, Blanchardville, Wisconsin, wait till you see the GFS models, because your harvest is over. It's over, Johnny. For farmers, 2 early snowfalls are piling into the streets of an already difficult harvest season. According to the latest crop progress report, only 13% of the state's corn has been harvested, which means that the rest of it is there. A little bit in the south could be harvested. But just 46% of the soybeans have been sucked up into that accumulator, or whatever they call it. Last year, those numbers were 44 and 57% respectively. 44 and 57 versus 13 and 46. You're still going to get your GMO soy, but the corn, hello, your Fritos are going to go up to $9 a bag, and the organic shit's going to be cheaper, which is your tweaker. Have you noticed that certain organic products are cheaper than the poisonous genetically modified versions in recent years, even months? This will continue to increase as the sheep are so stupid they continue to buy poison while the more nutritious and beneficial products are available for you for a cheaper price. That's the benefit of being woke. These tiny little, I love it. When I'm in the store and I'm like looking around, I'm like, holy shit, why isn't anyone getting this? Because they're all buying Chef Boyardee. And I just like, boom, cart full. And the woman at the cashier is like, beep, 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 beep. Do you have a restaurant? Why are you buying 1,100 pounds of these olives? I was like, bitch, they're organic and they're cheaper than the ones that make you go blind and impotent. Hello! Where were we? I hate getting off topic. Oh, there's the topic. Fall. And it's fallen all the way to Louisiana. And wait till you see the temperatures falling all the way to Miami. Oh my God. If you have your little Camino pants or whatever you call them, you better get some extra high socks, because it's going to get chilly up in your belly. Look at this. The snow starts to pile up way before schedule here in Carolina. Look at North Kakalaki in Virginia coming in with the tinea. I don't even know what that means, but that means snow. Worldwide volcano news update. No quakes of note or volcanoes. But with the increased cosmic ray flux we've seen in the last 30 hours, tomorrow's update is going to be boom time. We're going to be reporting on a major volcanic eruption. Mark my words. And I just marked it. Nevados de Chillán picking it up, doubling its height with 15,000 feet. Ducono also puffing and typically not passing. He's a prick. Or maybe she. Sakurajima blowing for the last 4 years. That's how much that blows. Violence worsens in Hong Kong as cops fire tear gas at activists. Well, democracy is dead unless you kill them, which apparently they're doing. Now, I seldom shout out channels that are way more successful than ours, but there comes a time when you have to put your pockets in your pants and you have to do what's right. Crime pays, but botany doesn't. Why crime pays, but botany doesn't? The underlying tenet seeks to mirror the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, so I'm going to reiterate it for you. Now, he just started his channel a year ago, but it's exploding. Not only is he not a Google partner, but this prick has come out of my own hole. And he's a brother from another mother. And if we ever met, it'd be like that. Guaranteed. I've already reached out to him, but he apparently doesn't really respond to emails, so it's okay. But let's get on with the endorsement. Why crime pays, but botany doesn't. Now, when I read this, I was taken aback because I have written the same shit for almost a decade. And it's why I unplugged my ass from the TV and started organizing against the multinational corporation called Monsanto over a decade ago. because I had taken the red pill. And now this is even after 15 years of incarceration and manipulation by the situation, which is called the system. I had already sold myself out. I was already dead. I expected to die at 27. And then 37 came around, and here we are at 48, which is our fate. The underlying tenet of the channel, Crime Pays but Botany Doesn't, seeks to divorce the pursuit of knowledge from the pursuit of a career, which is what I've done on purpose my entire life. Because I just can't, I get there and I feel uncomfortable. And I just want to say, who the f are you, man? Fuck away from me. How dare you? It says that the way the modern game is set up is rigged. It's a scam. It's one big hamster wheel. So don't live under the delusion that you live in a society that respects science, knowledge, art, and thus is willing to reward those people that excel in any of those. It doesn't, and it's not. Hello. Instead, find a hustle. Find a way to generate income that's both divorced from passion, yet still allows you ample time to pursue it. Now, what I did initially was just like become a carpenter, a master carpenter. I could make like $1,000 a week, and I could buy all the blow and hookers, and no, I never bought a hooker, and Coke and martinis that I ever wanted, and I did it. By Sunday morning, I was broke every week. And I had laid havoc to, well, in decades, thousands of people's lives. Unearthed. Mine as well. I mean, we're all equal parts. But I was the main provider. The linchpin. The hatchet man. But today it's different. Because today I have as pointy a hair as my hands. And we can pray with our head, and we can pray with our third eye, and we can pray with our mind, and we can pray with our eyes, and we can pray with our mouth, and we can pray with our nose, and we can pray with our hands, and then our lower chakras. And then we can stretch. In the last decade, I've learned that I am the master of my kingdom. I control my immune system. I control my fate. I can heal others. I can heal you, and I can heal me. But only if you're willing. And I think that Crime Pays and Botany Doesn't knows this. He also knows that the most important thing that he knows is that all the information that's stuck in his head means this much. And if he could just share that much with you, and you could get something out of it for free, it'd be more than anyone could ever promise ever in your life, in this current empire chart that you're living in. Because you have to pay like $1 for a pack of gum. And you basically have to sell your soul to the devil and the rest of your life to get a degree. I mean, you're minimum 50 grand, 150 grand, top end, 550. Shit, if you're rich and your daughters are dumb, you have to pay millions to get them a degree. Think about it. Crime Pays but Botany Doesn't teaches you how to go to the library. Roll cigarettes out of mullein instead of tobacco. And stick your thumb up those assholes' cracko. Avoid excess. One of his top monikers here. Now, I want to repeat what I was saying earlier and finish this. But I could spend an hour on it because I think that Crime Pays but Botany Doesn't deserves an hour on it. And if If he doesn't have 150,000 subscribers tomorrow because 50,000 don't subscribe, I'm disappointed. Please tell him where you came from. Tell him that Diamond from Oppenheimer Ranch thinks that he's the bee's knees. Don't say that. That would really creep him out. But let's get to the facts. He has determined what I figured out 15 years ago. And I'm going to share it with you in his words. Find a hustle. Find a way to generate income that's both divorced from passion, yet still allows you ample time to pursue it. My passion was stunt kites and rock climbing and other stuff, and then and coin collecting. And I started selling my soul to eBay, and I did that, and it worked. And I had enough time to do what I wanted to do, and then I didn't. In order to be successful, you have to sell your soul to that devil. And then I realized that it wasn't worth it. I said, I will take less to experience more. I will always take less to experience more. And currently that's where I'm at right now, which many of you haven't gotten to yet, but in the end, you're going to always take less to experience more, because experience is now, and it's the only time you're alive. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about crime pays and Botany doesn't. You pricks. Avoid excess. Find a hustle. Find a way to generate income that's both divorced from your passion, yet still allows you ample time to pursue it. That means get a hustle. Hello. Don't get caught up in your ego or narcissism, because if you're successful in your hustle, it's not your fault. It's the fault of society. Period. You're not special. Trust me. I used to think I was special when I was 20, when I was 30, maybe even when I was 40. The most important thing I know is that it takes me 3 seconds to do my hair, and it looks as special as it ever did. Because I'm not special. Stop accumulating shit, for Christ's sake. Throw it out. If you haven't used it in 3 years, give it away. If you can, burn it. Accumulating shit you don't need is what the empire is where we've gotten. It's what they teach you. If that's what you're doing and you're like, what am I doing? I just told you. It's called brainwashing. Stop it. Go outside and start looking at leaves on trees, and you'll realize how stupid you are. This is what we need you to do. The moment you realize how stupid you are, you can continue to listen to the channel, cry a little bit, and start throwing shit out until you have nothing except precious metal and cool shit that has value. You know, I got it all. Solar chargers. It's awesome. Anyway, avoid excess. If you're doing something too much, too long, now, like there's this one kid that I've been mentoring for a couple years. I'm not going to mention his name, but he has a problem masturbating. And he doesn't know why, and because it feels so good. And I'm like, duh. So does winning the lottery and jumping off a bridge and parachuting and roller coasters. We can't do them all the day, every moment. We can't. And if we do, they lose the je ne sais quoi. They do. They lose it. It's like you get a new girlfriend and it's awesome. Sex is amazing. And like 9 months later, you're like, nah. We've done this like for a million times. I'm over it. Same thing. Je ne sais quoi is fleeting. What's not fleeting is if you switch it up every day. Every day you say, I'm going to walk down a different path. I'm going to try a different thing. I used to hate that. I'm going to do it anyway. I want to do this because I don't know anything about it. Let me learn something new. I want to learn how to knit. I hate crocheting. Let's do it. That's how you grow. That's how you break boundaries. That's how you flow. Avoid excess. I never understood that until I was 30. Moderation is the key to everything. I grew so much pot and so many varieties that I couldn't even enjoy the effects of it. So I had to avoid excess. Are you picking it up? Disregard their rules. Their rules were set up to make you comply, make you stupid, make you brainwashed. Make you do what they want so they make more money at your expense, where you work harder and live less. Disregard their rules and their silly customs, and most importantly, disregard their bogus values and their standards of success. There's only a few slots at the top, and you're not getting it. But what you can get is a slot at the top of your own game. That's what I decided, and I'm there. And millions of others have done it. I created my own paradigm, and you can too. And all you have to do is meditate on what your purpose is and go for it. And don't use anyone else's information. Use your own and believe in it. What good does knowledge do locked up in an ivory tower? Nothing. Create your own library. Steal your education. And further, be willing to share it with others for free, for the betterment of your own species and the entire biosphere as a whole. Now, I hope Crime Pays but Botany doesn't does not buy into this global warming agenda. But it sounds like he's 50-50. He's dipping his toes in it still. He just hit the airwaves. It sounds like he's been woke for decades. He's certainly been to the same places I've been. And we love this guy. And if you're listening and you get to see this show, please come on our channel. I already reached out to you and haven't heard from you. We love you. Be safe. The history of the electric vehicle began in 1830, but the mainstream has never told you about that. It wasn't refined until the 1880s, which means it was around for over 50 years before we decided the internal combustion engine was the slavery model we would keep with all the way up until 2020 and the solar flare, when the grid goes down. Can you believe this? I spent too much long on Crime Pays and Botany doesn't. And that's for a reason. He's a real person. But this is the history, which is a mystery because you're not taught it. Electric cars aren't new. They're not fancy. We had them for 50 years, and then we said, nah, we're going to pollute the earth. Internal combustion. More money in our pockets. Let's talk about the prison industrial complex. I came from PA, where I couldn't get out of. I was suffering from a 12-year back tail on my parole. That was my sentence for growing medicine, which is now about to be federally legal. I'm not going to get an expunction or whatever the fuck they call it. It'll cost like $10,000 and they can suck it. But there are millions of people like me, I'm not unique, that are locked up currently now for decades because they were growing plants that were deemed illegal by rich oligarchs that have no reason and no authority to do so. The authority given to them is given by you. And if you comply to unjust laws, then you're going to die a sucker and have to repeat this whole process. Wake up! Take the pill. Trump defends his border wall design after reports that smugglers are sawing through it with sawzalls. Yeah, you know why? Because they are. Because after years of touting the impenetrability of a border wall, Trump, like every other politician, is full of shit. And they took billions of dollars and got some, look at this, chain link fence and some fucking 2x4s. It's such a joke. You're being taxed billions of dollars so that smugglers can laugh at you with their Sawzall from Lowe's, and they cut through it with billions of dollars worth of cocaine. I hope they're bringing cocaine because we grow better marijuana than Mexico. Hello. Now, this is our president's response. And if you voted for him, school yourself. He said this: we have a very powerful wall, but no matter how powerful this wall is, let me blow myself up because I know how many of you are going to unsubscribe when I do this. This means how pathetic and of a puppet of a human you are if you unsubscribe because I make fun of the orange-haired bastard that you voted for. We have a very powerful wall that I took billions of dollars to make with chain link fence and 2x4s. You can cut through anything, by the way, in all fairness. But we have a lot of people watching. They're looking right through your computer, right at you, you dumb pricks that voted for me. We're watching you and we're watching your children and we're selling those videos. You know, cutting is one thing, but it's easily fixed. You know, one of the reasons I did it the wall way we did for $12 and the 2x4s is that we can put a chunk back in. You know, we just put it back in and they're totally fucked. You just put it back in because it's impenetrable. And you just put it back in to the impenetrable wall that we put it back in on. Nasty November cold set to span most of the country. Look at this. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the depth of the models. Keep calm. As the few trickle out, as they unsubscribe. Because they're so proud of that 2x4 wall that they paid for with their taxes. When they could have been buying seeds and actually planting a future for their family. They were worried about Mexicans stealing their future. Last time I saw a Mexican in my backyard stealing my future was never. And I probably have 400 million people to back me up on that one. Take a look at the temperature because this is not fake. All the way down to Mexico where those cantaloupe guys are coming over with all the weed to make your daughters bang me. Yeah, they're coming right through Texas there. They're having sex with a bunch of Hollywood executives, and it's your fault because the 2x4 wall is failing. There's big holes in it. And the cold air is now slipping all the way into Mexico here where it's below freezing. Thank you. Thanks, Obama. But take a look at the model here, November 13th, freezing all the way almost down to in Miami. All the way down to Tamiami. And those of you that in Florida know what I'm putting down because it's about to get to you. Hello. Seismic update. No Trumps of note. But we do have some earthquakes that are happening. Trust me. Right here. Boom! 6.1 in Vostok does not alleviate the 7 and 8 magnitude deficit, which is approaching half a year. Now, Trump defends his border wall design after reports smugglers are sawing through it. He defended it because one of the reasons we did it the way we did it is it's very easily fixed. You put the chunk back in. Just put it back in. It's almost like global warming. You just put it back. We're going to put it back. It's cheap. It's costs a few grand. The great 440 Hertz conspiracy and why all of your music is wrong. Now, this is a whole video that I'm going to put out because we're already 30 minutes in here. But let me break it down to you quickly. In 1953, a worldwide agreement was signed declaring that middle A was 440 Hertz. Weirdly, no one can say for sure why this frequency was chosen. But Middle A is actually 438 hertz. And some people believe it's 432. But the importance is on the resonance of the third eye and the chakra and your well-being. 440 is destructive. 438 and 432 is rebuilding. Vibrating with phi in the golden ratio, where 440 is disruptive. And it is designed to make you violent, confused, and sick. Stay tuned for the video. High-powered laser blast target. Laser weapons melt truck engine from a mile away. Lockheed Martin successfully tested its new directed energy weapon laser prototype by burning a hole in a truck engine from more than a mile away. Yep. And that was announced. It's also being announced that you have just lived through a KP0 day. 28 hours continuous KP0 means that you've been psychic for most of the time, dying from pulmonary infarction, or just totally fluxed up. Now here's the cosmic ray alert, geomagnetic KP index score for health alert. And we're looking at the central region here at the cosmic ray risk. Acute myocardial infarction, cerebral stroke, terminal arrhythmia, anxiety, stress, emotional instability, cognitive diminution, uptick in traffic accidents, work injuries, suicide risk, mental disorder, flare-up, radiation risk. Have you experienced any of these today? Well, it's expected. What's not expected is blowing the whistle on the climate of Australia's Great Barrier Reef. Now, good friend of mine, yes, Australian taxpayers spend more inordinate amounts of money each year on saving the Great Barrier Reef from the shrimp on the barbie. And to keep the bucket brimming with cash, there's little wonder that the myriad organizations involved want careful control of the spin of the narrative. But the number one response to the spin of the narrative is being totally canned. Now, scientists on the Great Barrier Reef research body allegedly have fabricated expenses and have stolen millions of taxpayer dollars to lie to you about the death of the Barrier Reef. Have you heard about this? Well, I've just shoved it down your throat, so you've heard about it now. Senior scientist in Australia's key research body, the Great Barrier Reef, is alleged to have fabricated research expenses worth more than $500,000 and has been arrested on fraud charges, as he also told you that the reef was dying up. So as he got his by Aboriginal hookers and other things, flew jets around the world and had sex with underage Indonesian girls, as he told you that the reef was dying from blubbity blubbity blue, all that is global warming money. Now, Bill Shorten says Turnbull must come clean over $440 million of Reef Foundation scandal as he banged young chicks in Indonesia, raped people on Goldstein Island, and ate babies with Clinton. But we don't know what they were actually doing, but they certainly weren't telling you the truth about the Great Barrier Reef. They were stealing your taxpayer dollars. You know who doesn't steal taxpayer dollars? A conservancy that's just south of me called the Wells Petroglyph Preserve. Now, this very well-endowed woman who bought 200 acres in New Mexico accidentally to retire figured out what she had bought. And she donated it to a preserve. Yeah, she donated it to humanity to be protected. We're about to get exclusive access to the Wells Preserve for a 3-hour period this Friday, and we're going to be sharing this information with you. It is so important to our research on the lies that have been perpetrated on you for the mainstream that this is one of the turning points in our research. So if you have time, please come over and thank the Conservancy at the Wells Petroglyph Preserve. Make a donation or come out and see the petroglyphs for yourself. Now let's get back to Peter Ridd, one of the heroes that we support. I mean, he's taken the heat just like we have, but his whole career, well, he got paid $1.2 million, so he's fine. But anyway, thank God he won. Peter Ritz was awarded $1.2 million in the unfair dismissal case against James Cook University after they totally canned him. And not only that, one of his colleagues quit. And they said, you could suck it. I've been here for a decade, and I'm about to retire anyway, but here you go. This is for Peter Rid and for science. Now, we're not doing science anymore. We're doing paid-for propaganda by corporations. They own the universities. Monsanto bought every bee university on the planet. They own all the apiaries. They want to kill the bees so that they can make robot bees that you have to pay for. See, corporations are about money. They're not about science, saving the planet, or anything. They're about making money for their shareholders. They would use up every single gram of carbon on the earth, burn it to their advantage, and still tax you on it. That's what they're doing now. Hello? Are climate skeptic Peter Rid's controversial reef views validated by his unfair dismissal win? No, this is another twist on they're not related. Just because he won the unfair dismissal doesn't mean his science is correct. But any scientist that is investigating a valid hypothesis, regardless if it agrees with yours or not, is valid as a scientist. It's the scientific method. Now, the media method is if you don't prescribe to our tow line, we will cut your line and you will drown. So you know what I say to the media? Fuck you. And the Deep State Mapping Project. A breakthrough in American energy dominance. U.S. Navy patents compact fusion reactor. Well, it's happened. A compact fusion reactor has been patented by the U.S. Navy. Now, according to this article, the alien technology that they are disclosing to us now is right here. So it's like the same drawing we had in 1987 from Bob Lazar. Thank you, Bob. Please come to LeakCon 2020. We need you there. Now, theoretically, the concept could produce upwards of 1 gigawatt, just like, remember that movie where they had the gigawatt of power in the Ferrari? So, it could produce 1 gigawatt to 1 terawatt or 1 trillion watts of power from just 1 megawatt. Now, our solar system is going to generate 14 megawatts. So that means we could generate 14 gigawatts or 14 terawatts of power here at the ranch based on this technology. That's all the energy that has ever been used ever in the history of the earth. We could do it right now in an hour. Hello. But we just discovered it. It's a breakthrough. Here's another breakthrough. Did you ever hear of Terrence Howard? He's an actor. Very prolific actor. African American. Google him. And he believes that 1 times 1 equals 2. And I'm tending to agree with him. I know it's fucked up. It's coming. We're not bumming. We're prepared. Don't be scared. Be prepared. SurviveWithTheRanch.com. PrepareWithTheRanch.com. God, I wish we had that website. PrepareWithTheRanch.com. This will bring you to 25-year survival food from my Patriot Supply. Every month's about $150. We recommend you have a year of 25-year storage per person in the house, plus an additional 3 years of storage for each person in dry goods like rice, beans, etc., which cost pennies on the dollar for 5-gallon buckets. You should also have things like refillable lighters, maybe that have a flashlight option. I picked these up, $50 for each 100 I get. I have over 1,000 of these. Think about solar panels, candles. There are so many things to consider if the grid goes down. I'll tell you what. You know how to know what you need? Go to your breaker. Turn the power off. In 7 days, tell me what you need. Terrence Howard may come on the show. He may have the key. People think he's a joke. People think we're a joke. We're not joking. But we are toking. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance during a grand solar minimum or any cosmic catastrophe. As cosmic rays rain down on us and we evolve together, the people that are called sheep with the third eye blocked will not be part of the process. Only you and I will know how to rise. This has been described time immemorial in almost all prophecy. Can you see what we're putting down? Have you picked it up?